100% of the time, every client who follows through with the challenge that I present to them walks away free from sugar addiction. I mean, it is so fun to watch because it is so powerful and transformative. Do you struggle to stay consistent with healthy eating and just want food decisions to be easy, guilt-free, and sustainable? You're in the right place. Hi, I'm Chelsea, nutritionist and fitness coach who overcame restrictive yo-yo dieting and body image insecurities using simple nutrition tools, all backed by biblical principles. And now I help women like you find that same freedom with food so you can feel confident in the look and health of your body for decades to come. I'm ready to dive in with you. So grab that cute notebook you've been hanging on to and let's go. Are you tired of feeling tired? Relying on that midday coffee to get you through the rest of your day? And tired of knowing that you should eat healthier, but then get overwhelmed by where to start, so you grab another convenience meal and think, I'll try again tomorrow. Listen, my friend, you don't have to stay stuck in that vicious loop. Join me in The Sustainable Way, my one-on-one nutrition coaching program, and finally get the answers to all your food questions, create realistic strategies to keep you consistent long-term, and finally have confidence, not only in your body, but in your ability to steward it. If that sounds like an answer to prayer, head to coachrain.com/nutrition coaching to get started as soon as today. That's coachrain.com/nutrition coaching, and let's get you unstuck. And now, welcome to the show. How to eat healthy without giving up sweets. This topic is incredibly important to me personally because I love sweets, particularly baked goods and pastries. So if I had to give them up completely in order to be healthy, I probably wouldn't do it. Honestly, finding ways to incorporate sweets into my healthy eating routine is crucial for my long-term success, and I've coached enough people to know that I am not alone in that. So let's talk about what that looks like. The simplest way to eat healthy consistently without giving up sweets is to change your palate, which I know kind of sounds like, okay, sure, Chelsea, just let me get pigs to fly and then I will totally be able to control my sweet tooth. But trust me, this is actually way easier than it sounds. In fact, every one of my clients in The Sustainable Way, my nutrition coaching program, actually goes through the process of changing their palates without even knowing it, which I think is rad to have that massive of an impact without any extra mental effort. Yes, please. And this is a crucial part of having the ability to eat healthfully without giving up sweets because it allows us to stay in control of our sweet tooth. Not only that, but it actually changes how we literally see our food. The sweets that are particularly unhealthful for us start to become less and less appealing. I know it might be hard to think of that now, but imagine with me for a second looking at your favorite kryptonite sweet treat and thinking, nah, I don't really want that. I mean, talk about taking control over your cravings and desires. I have one client in particular who loves to report to me every single time she goes to the grocery store. She'll say something along the lines of, and I went through the bakery section, but I was just appalled. Nothing even looks good to me anymore. So trust me on this. This is a real thing that can be absolutely life-changing. Start by changing your palate. One of the most important components of changing our palates is breaking up with the addicting sugars, which are usually the refined sugars. And here's why. When we eat sugar in its natural form, like in an apple, for example, it's packaged perfectly inside the skin and flesh of the apple, which acts as fiber. That fiber helps us digest the sugar. And to make it even more efficient, Eating that apple with other protein and fat will actually help minimize the spike in blood glucose. Now, when we extract the sugar from its natural form and get refined granules of sugar, it's naked. No fiber perfectly designed to travel through our system along with the sugar. It's the naked sugars that cause the systemic inflammation and cascade of ill effects on our body. And because it is outside of nature's form, our brains have an enhanced, wild response to it. Have you ever seen that photo floating around the internet? It's an MRI scan comparison. One is showing a person's brain on cocaine, and the other is a person's brain on sugar. It's fascinating because the same part of the brain is lit up for both, which tells us we respond to sugar like a drug. And we can become addicted to that same dopamine high as we might get with drugs with sugar. So just know that it really isn't a failure of our willpower when we have the birthday cake, even though we told ourselves we wouldn't. It's our biology calling the shots if we are addicted. No amount of willpower can override that in the face of temptation. All that's to say, breaking that addiction is a crucial part of changing our palates so we can take control of our cravings and make better choices in the face of food temptations. And from a biblical standpoint, addiction to anything is idolatry. It makes us a slave to that thing, obedient to that thing, often before we are obedient to God. And God tells us in Proverbs not to eat too much honey, even if you like it, because it will make us sick. Replace honey with whatever sweet you desire, and the same applies. That proverb is really such a good guideline for us both spiritually and physically. So if we want to eat healthfully without giving up sweets, we first need to change our palate, and in order to do that, we need to break up with the sugar addiction. And I'll tell you what, I coach every single one of my nutrition clients through this process, and some approach it with no issues at all. They're not really a sweets person, doesn't bother them. But if you do have a sweet tooth, this can be a very intimidating thing to eliminate sugar for a brief period so that we can have it whenever we want because we've changed our palate towards it. But 100% of the time, every client who follows through with the challenge that I present to them walks away free from sugar addiction. And I mean that insatiable desire to have something sweet after your meal, not needing things like sweeteners in our coffee. I mean, it is so fun to watch because it is so powerful and transformative. One of my other favorite ways to eat healthfully without giving up sweets is to set boundaries. I've talked about this on previous episodes, but basically, I do this myself, and every one of my nutrition clients comes up with conditions and non-negotiables around the foods that tempt us to stray away from health the most. Oftentimes, I've observed those boundaries are focused on sweets and desserts, especially when we feel like we have to have something sweet after a meal. So here are some examples of the boundaries that I have seen folks come up with. Number 1, nothing factory made. Only homemade versions of whatever their sweet tooth calls for. Another one is only having sweets on a certain day of the week. I've had clients say that the privilege of having sweets is unlocked after a full diamond meal and if it's still before 9 p.m., which to me sounds an awful lot like the rules we set for our kids, right? Even if you don't have kids, you might have had a similar rule growing up. And this is because we know real food must take priority over the sweets, and having sweets too close to bed will absolutely disrupt bedtime. Those things don't change as we become adults. I think it's a brilliant boundary. I mean, the possibilities are endless here, and if you could use some support in creating your own boundaries around sweets, or whatever foods seem to always pull you off track from healthful eating, I encourage you to consider joining The Sustainable Way. It really is a fail-proof system to get you the healthful lifestyle you desire with food without strict dieting or endless guess and check attempts to make changes. Let me walk you through each step of the journey so that it actually sticks. Just head to coachrain.com/nutrition coaching to take that first step. I'll handle the rest. All right, let's recap. If you want to eat healthfully, but don't want to completely give up sweets, you need to, first of all, change your palate so you literally desire the sweets that have nutritional value more than the detrimental sweets. Which means, too, you need to break the addiction to the refined sugars and unnatural sugars that cause so much inflammation and damage in our bodies. Which brings me to 3, create boundaries to keep you on the path towards your health goals. Because if we are looking for a way of eating that is healthful and sustainable, we must make margin for those delicacies, just not in a way that actually controls us. And that is how you can have your cake and eat it too. I pray this episode was helpful to you, my friend. If so, could you do me a massive favor and take 30 seconds to write a review? This is the best way to bless me big and help more people learn just how simple eating healthy consistently can be. And if you want more value-packed info from me, head to coachrain.com and sign up for the Weekly Harvest, my weekly emails filled with recipes, how to use food as medicine, biblical nutrition, and more. That's coachreign.com for the Weekly Harvest. Blessings until next time, sis. Toodles.